and welcome to this virtual production vlog. My name is Matt Workman, and today we're going to be breaking down my brand new virtual production camera cart. So we're going to shoot some live virtual production in Unreal Engine, and I'm going to be explaining the different parts of this cart and why I've put it together like this. So to start, if you've never seen a cart like this before, they're pretty expensive, but they are 100% worth it if you're working in the film industry, and especially if you're in the camera department. These are designed to be folded up very small. You'd be surprised how small this gets. It's designed to be taken in and out of trucks, onto set, onto location, sound stages, over and over again without breaking. It has very smooth wheels. You can imagine putting very expensive camera equipment on this, all safe to do that. And my favorite thing about this innovative cart specifically is that it has a lot of specific accessories to attach different film industry things to it. It makes things a lot easier. It's a lot safer. It's less hacky. They've figured out a lot of the pain points and engineered some great solutions. So I 100% recommend and endorse Innovative. They didn't send this to me. I went and bought it. I've been wanting this for quite a while. The second big addition to the cart today that we're going to be showing a lot are the Inertia Wheels here that are made by Nodo film system. So if you've never seen wheels like this before, these are specifically designed to control gimbals. So a Movi Pro and R2 and remote heads like bigger ones you'll see on techno cranes. Those are by and large operated by two wheels. The left one does pan, the right one does tilt. So we're able to use these exact wheels for gimbals if we're doing mixed reality on a green screen or on a big LED wall. We're doing crane moves, gimbal moves. You'd use these exact same wheels, but today we're going to be using them in Unreal Engine to control a virtual remote head for the camera, and the movement is going to be very similar. These are very special, brand new wheels. They're very new. They are the successor to the popular Alpha wheels, and one of the main differences is that the inertia and the mass and the friction, the drag of these wheels is tunable to how you like it. If you want a lot of, friction and feedback and you want to take it a while for it to slow down, that is up to you. You can tune in. There's some knobs, and it allows you to have very smooth control and precise control over whatever you need to in a live environment. So that's enough about the cart. Let's hop into it. We're going to do a shooting demo, and I'll show you how this stuff works in action. Okay, so welcome to the camera cart. Let's start off immediately with the inertia wheels. The left wheel here is doing the pan like this, which you can see. Very nice, very smooth. And the right wheel is doing tilt. So we're going to tilt up and tilt down. This allows you to do compound moves like this. If you've ever worked on remote head jobs before, this is a good practice here, just making kind of like diamonds and circles. And you can get very good at this, but just wanted to demo that really quickly. And the new thing that we have today for this scene is that I have some new stuff designed for the camera stage. So let's start with a dolly in. I'm actually going to zero out our pan here to about there just to make sure. Yep. I'm going to center up on this tile here, and I am going to hit A like this. And you might see A on the screen there. I'm going to hit it a bunch of times because I don't trust it. And then I'm going to go down here and hit B like that. Again, I'm just going to hit it a bunch of times. And let's see if Y works right now. So I hit Y, and what that should do is actually move me from my A position to my B position. So it's kind of like a dolly move in this case. It's also kind of like a flying camera. You'll see if we change it later. So I'm going to hit Y again, and it's going to bring us back to that position here. So nice and smooth. So this part's being handled by the computer. But what is live is the head, and this is typically how I think I'm going to work. I'm going to be doing a shoot like this very, very soon. And so let me operate a couple shots for you. So I'm going to hit Y, and we're going to go in. Here we go. The animations are not quite lined up, but you can see that I can handle the tilt here if that's what I wanted to do. So I'm going to do a shot like this. Again, okay, this is a demo, so not the best shots in the world. Then I'm going to just like pan into the floor or tilt into the floor. Not the best shot. I'm just trying to show it live, okay? So that's a weird shot. I think I should come up with a better demo right now. So let's go scoot around. Let's move over here, and I'm going to zoom in now. I can use the D-pad for that, and I can use the back triggers to come up higher. So my height is actually higher right now. So I'm at a 50 mil, looking in this direction. Let's wait for them to kind of reset, and we'll just kind of see what we landed on as a shot. So they're going to reset over there and then come back, and I'll pan back into it. So we're going to pan over here like this, watching them fight, and then they're going to go down to the ground. Again, not the best shots in the world, just trying to show this system, how it's working together with the Xbox controller and the wheels at the same time. So one of the main parts of this system that's important, as I back up here, I'm going to tilt up a little bit. The important part about this system is that I can operate completely free from the Unreal Engine computer, or like what would typically be the virtual production team or the VFX team. I can 100% independently control the camera right here, find my own camera moves without them. They don't have to set keyframes for me. I can do that all here, and eventually I'll be able to control the lights and do manual focus and some other stuff, but we're starting like this here. So I'm going to hit A a bunch like that just to make sure it got set, and we're going to make a move that just scoots in like this to about here. Hit B, make sure it registered. I'm going to hit Y, and here we go for our move. So a lot of people may be looking at this from the VFX industry and being like, why don't you just keyframe all of this? And well, for the movement, I kind of agree that keyframing makes a lot of sense. But when it comes to the pan and tilt, sometimes the moves are really finessed. They're these tiny little movements, and it's hard to keyframe that kind of stuff unless you're very, very good. And I, as a camera operator and DP, I am not very good at doing keyframing. However, I am very used to operating cameras like this, and I think many DPs who are on the bigger virtual production sets, they are as well, and their operators are too. So from a camera department point of view, this is how we're used to operating cameras. It gives us a lot of fine control, and so that's the same thing I want to create when I'm working in virtual production that's full CG. And again, if you learn how to operate the wheels like this in this scene, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, shoot some more. If you learn to operate wheels like this in an all-virtual environment, it is the exact same wheels, the exact same workflow and design when you move to virtual production with mixed reality or LED screens where you're going to be using gimbals or remote heads. So it's the same exact workflow, and that's what we're trying to get done here. So I'm going to scoot back, change the focal length. I'm going to do one shot that I tried before that was pretty cool, and we're just going to fly in from outside like this. So in the future, I'm going to make it so that you can change the speed of the camera move. Right now, it's basically timed out to be about a 10-second move, which works out pretty well, I think. So I'm going to start out like this, and there's a lot of work to do to make this even better controlled. But again, the idea is to be able to do stuff that would normally be at the computer and do that right here at the camera cart instead. So I'm going to hit A, set my A mark. I'll eventually have the UI tell me when we set the mark, but I just wrote this up today. We might end up flying through this beam. That's somewhat acceptable, I guess, in this shot. And we're going to end just through here in this kind of like perfect centered shot like that. So hitting B, and I'm going to fly back to 1, hopefully. Oh, we're going to go backwards. That's absolutely fine. So again, live control here. We have a very dark interior. I have not actually lit this or arted it for being out here. As you can see, it's very empty. I only actually designed the set to be inside there, but we'll do our best. And we're going to go in. So I'm going to start looking up, which there's nothing up there again, so kind of weird. And it looks like we're going to fly right through this beam, or maybe right over it. Pretty cool shot. Too bad they're just leaving. Maybe we can do it again. I'm going to fly backwards. And maybe this is like the end of the scene. We were mid-move. Okay. Like that. And we kind of just go back to our wide shot that is live operated. And I didn't build the scene out to be like that. So I'm actually going to do this one more time. And I think they're going to take off about now. Okay, here we go. Here's the actual money shot. Right, so I'm going to control the tilt a little bit. We're pretty much centered, so not a lot of panning happening. And then here we are into the scene. Kind of a cool introduction shot. So again, this is all live controlled. It allows you to work completely independently of the main Unreal Engine station. And you can just go get your cameras where you need them. So that is a quick look at the virtual production camera cart. Again, the idea is to be able to get the DP or the camera operator and even the gaffer when we add lighting controls. We're trying to get them away from the main computer so that they can work at the same time. So it's just as fast as working on a real set. Again, these wheels control our virtual camera head, but they can also control real camera head. So the investment is to get these or get trained on them, learn how to operate virtual heads, and then that will 100% translate when you go to work on bigger sets with gimbals and techno cranes and remote heads like that. One last thing I want to point out is that in my demos lately, I am mostly doing capturing live. So I am recording the footage to this monitor. And I'm actually shooting this way. I prefer to work that way when I'm working by myself. It's just much easier. But to answer the question right now, if you're in a more VFX-centric pipeline, like you might want to go back to Nuke, you want to do more work in Unreal Engine, you can actually just take record using Take Recorder or sequencer in Unreal Engine, you can actually just record the motions from the wheels, from the focus iris zoom, whatever you're doing here, you can just record that as animation curves or mocap data essentially into Unreal Engine, and then it's just animation, right? So you can then change whatever you want. You can light it, you can render it out of sequencer at 4K or 8K, you can do passes, go back to Nuke, and do a more VFX workflow. I show it as a kind of very new way, kind of like a live, shooting it all right there live way of using Unreal Engine. But for everyone who's using this for VFX, just know that that is completely possible here. And this cart concept would work to allow your DP to work, do lighting changes, but you only record it as data. You're not baking it into the footage. So that wraps it up for this vlog. Thank you to Boyd, the designer of the Alpha Wheels, and the Inertia Wheels for sending me these, for allowing me to do some integration into Unreal Engine, and eventually, possibly, very likely into Cinetracer. I haven't tested that just yet. And also, shout out to Innovative Carts. Again, I bought this cart, but you make great carts. I'll link to both of these in the description. And like always, if you are interested in learning more about virtual production, you want to talk to me, talk to other people in the community who are building things like this, doing things with LED walls and virtual production in general, please join us on the Unreal Engine Virtual Production Facebook group that I run. That will be linked in the description below. I'm tired. It's been a long day. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.